Welcome to the Soulful Ambition podcast. I'm your host, Analisa Lemming, Broadway actor turned coach for big dreamers. This is a show about choosing to live inside out, becoming sourced from within, and then acting upon your deepest longings. From starting your dream business to starring on Broadway, from sacred activism to being a radiant, aligned parent and everything in between, we will walk the razor's edge of these two seemingly contradictory words, soulful ambition. This podcast is here to awaken the longing in your chest that is so big it threatens to swallow you whole. Because the manifestation of your true desires is your destined path and the medicine and the magic that the world needs. This is Soulful Ambition. Hello, welcome back to the Soulful Ambition podcast. I'm Analisa Lemming, and this is the first solo episode of this iteration of my podcast, Soulful Ambition. And y'all, I wish I was recording this yesterday. Yeah, we're starting out with a confession. I wish I'd recorded this yesterday because can I tell you why? I was high vibe yesterday. There were so many times throughout the day that I was like, oh, I'm so happy. Like next level. Like I was feeling ecstasy throughout the day. And I was feeling so lit up by this new big dream and desire that has come online for me. In fact, I went on a hike and I started recording voice memos, and I recorded about 25 minutes of voice memos. And there was a little part of me that was like, could the sound be good enough that I could just use this for the podcast? But you could just hear like the crunch, crunch, crunch of my steps, like every step of the way that I don't want to put you all through that. And then there was another part of me that's like, well, do I transcribe it? And then I kind of read it like it's a script and read it today. But I woke up today and I feel so different than yesterday. In fact, I started this podcast, I got 8 minutes in and I've stopped it. And I just kind of sank back in my chair and I was like, I don't want to do this today. Like, I don't want to record it. But it's Monday. This podcast comes out next week and I have to send it to my editors by the end of the day. So what do we do? What do I do? And I sat with myself for a moment and I thought, the truest thing for you to do in this moment is to share this. That like this will serve somebody. Oh, I think I might cry. That I know there are others out there with their big, deep longings that are listening to this right now and you can't connect with it. And one thought that I had yesterday when I was feeling so high vibe, and I think I maybe even said this when I was recording in my voice memo on my phone, was I love when I feel this clear vision because I feel so expansive and creative. And I know her, like I know her, this version of Analisa, and I love the way this feels. And so how interesting that the next day I should wake up and I don't feel that. What I don't want is for me to make that mean something about me or my dreams. Because how easy is it for us all to do that? Well, maybe I don't want it anymore. Maybe I just don't want it enough. That's a really easy story to take on. What's wrong? What's wrong with me? Just even that, like that question of like, what's wrong with me? These are all little things like that so easily could grab hold. And then I follow them into this rabbit hole and it takes me down. Fine, but I don't want to do that today. And so I hope that maybe you bookmark this as something to go back and listen to when you're in that place. Maybe you're in that place right now. I'm also curious in talking about it a little bit here, if it opens up something. And I know I'll share some about desire and my desires with you here. But I just want to start with permission to be where I am. And if you need permission to be exactly where you are. I think it's something that happens as we get older too. At least that's my experience. And I also work with others that have a similar experience that are not in their 20s and have this like one big dream. Oh, and again, like my identity feels so good when I'm in that state. I know that state. I've known that state since I was like 13. And so being comfortable being in these other places, it takes time to build that capacity. So I feel like that's what I'm doing. I'm giving myself, my nervous system. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So slowing down here, just kind of feeling where you are. And so I think what I want to feel into and share and talk about is our relationship with desire. Our desires, like being somebody who desires. Is it safe or is it dangerous? When does it feel safe? When does it feel dangerous? And dangerous is a little bit of a provocative word. Like, I don't mean dangerous like a threat to your life, right? But maybe it's a threat to your psyche, to your identity, to your ego. It certainly feels dangerous to mine in this moment. If I were to like just push into my desire and go, okay, what do we do today from this place? Danger, shut down. Don't do it. I'd like to tell you why I'm on this desire kick right now. So if you haven't heard yet, I am coming to New York City and co-facilitating an in-person 4-hour workshop with Lauren Rogers, a dear soul sister who is a certified holistic sex educator. We recorded a podcast together. I'll put the link down below because it's a beautiful podcast from about a year ago. And we are co-facilitating this workshop called Unlocking the Power of Desire. And we've found sort of the intersection of our work. And it is around, like, she talks about desire, pleasure, sensuality. And I talk about desire, longings, dreams, ambitions. And we started talking about I was sharing with her how I have been tapping into sexual energy as life force, as vitality, as passion to fuel my longings. And I said, hey, do you want to do a workshop where you help us awaken that energy? And then I help us like tap into our deep longings. And then we put it together and do this thing. And so we practiced together last week. We practiced kind of like, we did some of these practices is what I should say when I say we practiced. We did some of these practices together and it was amazing. Like it was so powerful. I wonder if my deep desire came online after that. I actually think it might have. If there are spots left, it's $175 for a ticket. There might not be spots left, my loves. When you hear this, check it out. The link will be below. I trust that if you are meant to come, there will be a spot for you. Okay. And if you're like, Analisa, I didn't even know about it. I didn't hear about it until this episode. Make sure you're on my love letter list. I send out a love letter or a newsletter if you're a muggle on Tuesdays. And I keep them short and sweet, but you won't miss out on a podcast episode, on a workshop, an event that I hold. And I'm playing with the format of it and sharing soul nourishment tips, a recipe I cooked this week, the altar I created in my kitchen and different things. So people that receive that get a little something that you won't get if you follow me on Instagram or the podcast. So head over there, link below. You'll get a free gift inside, a beautiful practice if you hop on that. Okay, there's a little commercial for this word desire. What is your relationship to desire? And what is your relationship to desire today? Because if you'd asked me that yesterday, I would have been like, it's amazing. And you asked me that today, I'm like, I don't desire today. Actually, today I desire to rest. That's what I desire. I desire to journal. I desire to take walks. It doesn't feel true to feel into like my soul desire today in this moment. I imagine that will shift and change, but what is your relationship to desire right now? And if you want, grab a journal or open up the notes app in your phone and like pause this. I'm going to ask you a few questions and really feel in, go, what is, and just kind of take a breath, shimmy your shoulders, feel down into your pelvis. And what is your relationship? Ask yourself, okay, so how do I feel about desire right now? Do I desire something? What do I desire? What do I desire today? What am I desiring to experience in this life right now? This is my teacher's question she asked last week. Actually, in her podcast, Sabrina Lynn, Rewilding for Women, she said it wasn't about desire, but it was like, if you had one day to live, 1 month to live, 1 year to live, what comes up? Because that's a great way of cutting out the kind of habitual, the mundane, the to-dos and all of that, because it's easy to get caught up in that, right? Well, I don't have time. But like, if you're just like, okay, I have 1 year left on this earth, like, what do I want to do with it? Whew. Yeah. Who do I want to be around? What is it that I feel like I want to create and leave in the world? What are some of the experiences that I long to have? Ooh, this one could like really get some tears flowing, but it's like, what do I want to leave with my children? I want to live from this deeply soulfully aligned place. I don't want to fill it with busyness and keeping up with the Joneses. Like, that question just really dropped me in, y'all. If you're watching this, my eyes are just filled with tears. Yeah. All right. Guess what? That longing just came back. And you know what that tells me? Is that it's really true. You know what else it tells me in this moment? Is that I don't have any action to take around it today. I've been taking a lot of action in the last week and a half. Big action. I rented a car and went and visited a place. I've spent hours and hours researching. I've been crunching numbers. I've been gleaning from others that I've had this experience that I'm longing to have, asking questions. I've taken a lot of action. Yesterday, I took this beautiful hike. Oh, you know what I did the other night? I highly recommend this. So as I was playing with desire the other night, I was researching this thing that I'm dreaming of, Pinterest boarding. Like I'm seeing it, right? And then I go to another website and I'm like, ooh, and I click on something. I was like, I've read this. And I click on another place. Well, I've read this too. And Analisa, you've read all the websites there are about this thing. So I said, okay, it is time to go to bed, but you can still keep playing with your desire. So what we're going to do is I was all ready for bed, got in bed, turned out my light, snuggled up, and I just said, okay, feel the longing. How can your brain in this moment picture it? Like let visions and images come. And now steep yourself in this moment as you're cocooned in your bed with the feelings of how you imagine it will feel when it's yours, when it unfolds. And now I surrender it. I surrender it to the universe. Let my subconscious go to work as I rest. I don't actually know how it is meant to unfold. This is one way. And so I surrender. I let go. Whatever is in my highest and best, my family's highest and best, and all those that are around us, may it be. And then I went to sleep. And I woke up probably 2 or 3 times that night, and I did the exact same thing. I noticed I was awake. It wasn't time to get up yet. And so I said, let's fill back up. I really felt like steeped head to toe in this longing. And that longing felt good. So that's a practice. It just was really fun. I think it was the next morning. Yeah, it was yesterday morning then that I woke up to go on this hike. And that's when I was like, I was so filled up and it felt incredible. So that probably had something to do with that dreaming practice that I did the night before. Yeah. Okay, so that's where I was like, well, so what's your relationship with desire? And it's like, Does it feel good? Can it feel safe to just long? Can we just long for something even though it's not our day-to-day reality? And I think when it doesn't feel safe, when it doesn't feel good, like let's start really paying attention to that rather than like a black and white answer. Because I'll tell you, I know for so many clients and people that come to workshops with me and that I work with, when I talk about like claiming that big dream, there's something that's like, oh, right? It's like a excited and scared, right? It's both, but that scared feeling of it, is it too big? Is it too much? Is it too greedy? Is it too selfish? Is it possible? I don't know how. Like all those things come up, right? When we claim the big dream, when we're like, I want this thing. And so to notice, like, have those questions and things gone into the forefront? Where do they want to get looked at? Well, I don't want to dream from there either. That's not my most resourceful state when I'm feeling into that, when I'm coming at it from those angles of doubt and lack and insecurity. So what if we need to like clean up our relationship to desire, period? I'm just pausing and feeling into that for a moment. Yesterday, at one moment, I was on this walk and I know what happened. Like I got into the nitty gritty and I got into the nitty gritty for a moment and I started to feel myself clench up. And I noticed like, whoop, too far nitty gritty, too far into the how, too far into the details. I'm not ready to go there yet because I literally do not know how. On paper, this dream is not possible right now. And so for me to get into that much nitty gritty closed my heart. And I thought, okay, so what if it's about like sort of the calibration of our desire, of our longing. And so again, like yesterday, I was in a completely different place than I am with it today. And what if my relationship with desire and my desires is like any other relationship with a human that needs tending to? Like, that's kind of profound to me in this moment. Like, do I trust it? Do I feel safe with it? And then what is this? This is really, really beautiful and an exciting place for me to be. I've never felt into it quite this way before, but what is it to be somebody who desires? And you got to go into your body with me on this one. Like that I can have this like longing for something. And that is an okay and enough and a beautiful place to be. And I watch when it tips into grippiness, when it tips into like, but is it going to happen? I would say that's my version of it. But you all are each going to have your own unique story where you tip into something pretty regularly. So, right, like maybe with a partner, am I like, I've fallen in love and it's amazing and all of this. And then I start to be like, in your mind, right? You don't like anybody else. That's going to choke that relationship pretty quickly, right? And it's like, oh, wait, we're each our own sovereign beings and I want you to choose me and I choose you every day. Okay. And we kind of like teeter back and forth. So like, where are you? Where am I in my longing and my desire in this moment? Is it in integrity? Is it in alignment? And also, can I let this desire be the life force? Like, can I let it be the energy that fuels me? This is something else that I'm playing with. So, I really think about it like a seed. A seed has this energy, this potential within it, and it opens up and blooms. And like, what is it? What is the life force within the seed that grows the seed into a tree? That's within us. And so like, what if me connecting with soul, connecting with higher self, connecting with God, connecting with intuition, and also that longing, that desire, that like, oh, I want this thing. And I really feel it. I'm not thinking it. I'm like in my body right now. I'm like opening up. So something's opening. So maybe you pause this and close your eyes and are like, okay, where's my desire? What's it feel like in this moment? And I can feel this like life force rising up in me, this energy rising up in me. It's kind of like going up to my third eye right now. And then I'm like turned on. I'm turned on. I actually feel like I just like turned on like electricity in my body, life force, vitality, passion. If you're watching this, you saw that happen. And so now if I point it at, okay, is there a place where I'm called to act today? Is there a step that I want to take? Is it true? I could really pause and feel into that for myself, but I'm not going to because I already know the answer today. Yeah. Don't you think is this different? This feels different in my system. This could be one of those things that's like, and what I mean by is this different? Like, is this different from how we usually talk about going after our dreams? Because it is for me. It's so alive in my body. I feel like this is an embodied way of like, it's embodied desire. I think it always starts with that. Okay. I know that our desires always start from within our body, our soul. We get lit up by something, right? But I don't think that most of us, as we're day in, day out going after the thing we desire, I don't think it's embodied. I don't think that it's coming from a lit up place. Maybe we get to that place before an audition, before a job interview, before the date, hoping that, this could be our life partner that we're looking for. I think that we get ourselves there, but I'm really curious about how can this be the day in, day out experience? To me, this is bringing the sacred into the mundane, which is like, if you know my main character energy that I've been playing with, it's Earth Priestess. So like earth, grounded, mundane life, priestess, one who brings grace and love and channels grace and love wherever they go. And so it's like, yeah, that's where I'm feeling so called. And so this is what I offer today. I'm bringing some grace, some love, something that is sacred to me into the mundane. I am going to keep you all posted on this. I think in solo episodes or when I bring on a soul sister friend just to kind of jam with me like I plan to do, I'll update you on how it's going, on how I'm going after this new big longing. I have not had this kind of external dream in quite a while. And I really look forward to doing it in this grounded, embodied way. Blowing up the box of what I think is possible, of what I think I can afford, of what, again, like I know now that I'm being pointed in a certain direction. This is kind of like the North Star right now. And so every day I'm moving in a way toward that, but maybe it's not that at all. Maybe it's just that I have to kind of go that direction to then go in this direction. So I look forward to sharing how this unfolds, and maybe it'll take months, maybe it'll take years, maybe it'll take a month, 4 weeks, who knows? I so honor you on your path to your deepest longings, to your soulful ambition. And so if you're in New York City and you listen to this and you're able to join us live, I hope that you do. And if not, I am starting a brand new container in July for a small group, 6 to 8 individuals. It is the Soulful Ambition Circle. We meet on Zoom, so people are all over the country and world, actually. And 6 months of really like nurturing, nourishing your soulful ambition with community. We start in July. So if you're interested in that, I'll also put a link below so that you can check out the program and apply, because I know that spots for those also will not last. It's a powerful group. We're just kind of coming into the tail end of the first session of this. And it's been really, really beautiful to watch these souls come more into their own alignment, to trust themselves, their intuition, and get really clear on what it is that they're longing for and support each other along the way. So thank you for being with me on this very vulnerable exploration of where I am today. And I really hope that it gives you permission wherever you are to think like, what if there's nothing wrong? What if there's nothing to fix? And what if there's something within this, if I go into it with love and compassion, that I can unfold or see that I couldn't have seen in any other state of being. So I honor it and I meet myself where I am. All right. So much love. We will be right back here next week on the Soulful Ambition podcast.